This year, Crisp turned 10, and at the same time, everything changed. AI exploded, every SaaS company rushed to add AI features. We did too. But very quickly, we realized something was wrong. Crisp wasn't built for this new era. So we made a decision. Instead of patching the old product, well, we started over. This is the story of that decision. The meetings, the doubt, and then the rebuild that led to Hugo.
If I had to explain Crisp to my family, I would explain, do you see like the chat bubble on like the bottom right part on websites? Well, that's Crisp. And in the end, one day, if you go on a website, definitely you've been using before a website using Crisp, definitely, because we have around 200 million people going on Crisp every month. So that's really Crisp. In the end, it's letting companies and users to keep in touch together. Over the different years on Crisp, we've been building, I wouldn't say AI, but we've been creating a chatbot. So we've started doing a workflow-based chatbot in 2018. That was the first foundation of doing chatbots. The idea was to create different workflows, scenarios, so you can route customers depending on their intent to the correct solution. It could be providing a knowledge-based article, providing an answers, routing directly the user to the correct team. It's how we started foundations of doing chatbot with Crisp. We started doing research on AI at Crisp just during COVID-19 pandemic. My vision was AI is definitely evolving quite a lot, especially after Google released their first really transformer architecture. The idea was, okay, we see that there are like transformers, there is OpenAI doing GPT-2 and GPT-3. How we could use that inside Crisp to build an AI architecture for Crisp. And it's exactly what we've done. It was like RAG before RAG. It came with learning how AI model architecture works. And we've been training our first AI models. So we started renting GPUs, creating data sets. We started to integrate AI into our workflow system, scenario, chatbot system. So it was not AI agent, but like smart chatbot. Chatbot having the ability to search into a knowledge base, providing articles, suggesting links, and starting to integrate with LLMs. We even trained our own LLMs to be able to know if an article is relevant or not and suggest responses based on that. And yeah, that was amazing to see how something we started researching turn and evolve into a product that was used by like thousands of different companies trusting and using it on an everyday basis. And then we got ChatGPT released. That was December 2022. That was a big revolution because for the first time you had really a conversational chatbot, a very smart LLM. And we thought, okay, this is the future. We need to find a way to integrate such technology inside Crisp. And we started like in 2 or 3 days to create a feature named Magic Reply. And Magic Reply was the first product with really smart AI inside Crisp. The idea was quite simple. You push a button and it drafts a response for you. That was just the beginning. And over like the few next months, we started to put some technology on the top of that, which was our search system or like RAG architecture, and to create really like a smart, really smart chatbot. One of the limitations we had, we used to have like a workflow-based chatbot, and we started to have like Magic Reply action inside our scenario system, but in the end, it was still a workflow-based system where you had to manually route the entry point, put like message matching systems, and in the end, placing an LLM. But you had to configure that manually. It's quite time-consuming, complex. So we had some ideas to make this new system agentic, but we had like two different visions. Valérian went in Mexico, and there was Elliot there working at Crisp.
What happened in Mexico stays in Mexico.
We were taking some time off from the work, and we spent so much time, like building this platform to control the AI, yeah. But we don't have the product yet on the top of it.
And we just ask ourselves, what should we build? Should we keep improving our Magic Reply tooling? Or should we build a split or separate product and something like totally new?
I had a call with Valérian, and he told me, well, we have an idea. Well, maybe we could just do a new Crisp. As a side, it would be an agentic first product, and we could see how it evolves. And I thought, well, could be, but we're gonna have to rebuild this and this and this, and we already have plenty of customers there.
The chatbot product was very solid, working well, powering a lot of websites, a lot of chatbots for our customers, and we didn't want to break everything. But at the same time, it was very hard to improve it out of the legacy code base, which was very solid. So we decided to rebuild it from scratch, to re-implement the chatbots of Crisp in a new programming language.
We've been doing that like a long time ago. It's made using Golang, which is like a cool language, but it has some limitations. And AI, it's going like super fast. Companies like model providers release stuff on a monthly basis. It's hard to integrate new things with a such language, which is not that popular. So I thought, well, we need to just rebuild the entire system and make it like modern. And Valérian thought, well, we shouldn't do that because it's impossible. And I thought, well, it must be possible. With Dennis, developer at Crisp, we thought, well, we're gonna try different modern frameworks for doing that, different languages, and let's try all the approach. And in 2 weeks only, once we found the proper way to build really a smart agent, we started to just recode the entire workflow-based architecture.
Traditionally, chatbots were pretty good for simple tasks, but they really struggled with real support. They really worked as a precursor for a human agent, and they were really good at answering frequently asked questions or collecting data, but they weren't as good as actually helping and supporting.
And we started to put an AI agent on the top of that. When we started to use it the first times, we could really feel the difference. The agent was like super smart. We tried different questions, tricky questions, and it was really okay, more than okay. It was perfect. What we started then is to create some gateways between Crisp and this product. We felt that we had to change the chatbox system.
On my end, I did all the designs of the product, implementation of the visuals, and the chatbox part as well. Because there is a huge redesign of the chatbox, which was necessary at the same time as we did the product for the AI agent, because both products, they work in pair. You cannot have like a design of the chatbox from like 5 years ago. It's not compatible with the way people use AI. Traditional chatbox, they are one-to-one conversation between a human and a human. So you need to show personality. You need to show the human identity. So there's avatars everywhere. You can see like the person is typing, like you can see the mean response time, stuff, that makes sense in the previous time. Now with AI agent, people, they expect instant answers because they're used to ChatGPT. So you don't need to make it like obvious it's AI or, like it's it's not human. But you need to tune the UI so that it's adapted to the AI response, which tend to be very long sometimes. So like, for instance, the chat box is lightweight. It's more like easy to read. So we made sure to, for instance, when you receive an AI response, the chat box is kind of auto-expanding. It's much more legible. We don't show avatars, for instance, next to message. We show a different typing indicator when it's like the agent thinking, things like that. But at the same time, like, people also want to answer from human to human. So we need to support like both messaging flows in the same chat box.
The thing is, we did this chat box widget thing. We studied that 10 years ago. It's a long time where we didn't have like modern frameworks. We didn't have like such builders for JavaScript and TypeScript. So we knew that it wasn't possible straight away to implement this design. So what we've been doing with Elliot is just recoding the entire chat widget, but just with the previous design.
We spent at least 1 month, 1.5 months, rebuilding everything nearly from the ground in the chat box. And what it has unlocked, it's simply allowing us to first have a standard code base. It's very important at Crisp, and we are putting more and more efforts into this, having standardized stuff between products. So if you take, for example, the Crisp website, the Crisp app, or the Crisp chatbox, you are going to feel at home in every project because it's the same stuff. It's Vue.js, it's the same store system. It's really equivalent. Obviously, there are differences because it doesn't target the same people and stuff like that, but it's roughly the same. So if we have a developer that never touched the chatbox, they can touch the chatbox. And until that refactor, touching the chatbox was critical, and only Valerian, for example, was touching the chatbox because it's his code. So it unlocked this, and with Baptiste and myself and other developers, now we can touch the chatbox and build a feature like we build a feature on the website or on the Crisp application.
And guess what? No one noticed any difference. And it's because it worked. But in the end, it helped us to achieve the next goal, which was implementing this new chat widget thing. And we implemented, so from the Valerian's design, we had like quite big changes in this new widget. For instance, this new widget has a thread system. It's the first time in Crisp history that we have a thread system. So it lets users to create new conversations on Crisp. For a reason, it's because AI tends to prefer when it's a new context every time. So we've been doing that just for this purpose, to let users create a fresh new thread when the context change. And integrate as well with UI to tell the user, okay, I think the conversation just ended. Do you want to create a new thread? Okay, let's do that just with the built-in UI. With this new product, what we wanted to do as well is to implement MCP servers. So MCP servers are really a smart system. It's like the Zapier for integrations with AI agents.
It's something that you can connect our agent to. So our agent will be the client, and you can create a server that will host any sort of data. So one of our examples could be for a Shopify MCP server. You could connect your server that would then connect to your Shopify store. It would fetch an order based on an ID and a user email. It would fetch the data. It would return the raw data to our client, and then our agent will give a human response through the MCP server.
The trick with MCP is there is no built-in authentication. What we wanted to do with Crisp for our own customer support is integrate our back office to this new agent. To do that, you need to do some kind of authentication, KYC. We've been implementing that as well in the chat widget. So you want an invoice? Okay, let's verify that you are the correct person. By the way, I just sent you a message on your WhatsApp. Can you give me the code? Well, all of this is built in the chat window. And with, let's say you use an iPhone, you see on the top of the keyboard, like you just need to click and boom, it autofills the input and you're connected. And boom, the AI agent gives you the 12 different invoices you've been having for the past year. Now, with this new AI agent, you can not only answer things, you can just do actions. It's a big change because not only you can resolve like tickets, like customer support tickets, but it builds confidence for users. They know that this chat system on the bottom right part is smart, and it's really the vision we've had with Hugo. We wanted as quickly as possible to be able to test this new agent thing, because as quickly as you can test, the more feedback you're gonna have, the better your product gonna be. So quickly, even if the product was not ready yet for customers, the configuration system wasn't ready, we started to create an internal test just for our team, and the results were just amazing. But on the same time, it allowed us to understand, okay, maybe we could just create an AI agent inbox in Crisp.
2 years ago, we brought sub-inboxes, so it allows you to split sales stuff, bug stuff, whatever you want, VIP inbox, you name it, you can have it. It's super great. But still, you have your main inbox. And with Hugo and with automations, we have more and more conversations that are fully handled by AI, meaning that you, myself, and other operators, they don't touch anything on the conversation. We started wondering, does it make sense to see these conversations in the main inbox? Because most of our customers in the main inbox, they want to see the human conversations, the conversation that they are handling themselves or their operators. For bigger companies, the issue with that is that it creates noise. It adds too much conversations to your pending inbox, to your main inbox with the list. It can create anxiety because you are like, wow, there is too much conversations to handle. And on our own inbox on Chris, sometimes you see an endless list of pending conversations or unresolved conversations. So we wanted to reduce that. And because Hugo now can handle a lot of various conversations, we wanted to give that a separate space. And what's great with this new sub-inbox, this automations sub-inbox, is that as an operator, I can go there and monitor stuff and see what's happening. And then when I want to go back to answer more complex conversations, I simply have to go back to the main inbox and then I do my usual job.
It was a game changer for our team because it really simplified the way we operated. And once we reached enough confidence with this new agent, we started to select different customers. So it's where Antoine, Romain, Chris, and Camille started to reach different kind of customers to show what we had.
We choose some clients that were really using a lot Crisp. So immediately they were like, okay, it's gonna solve that pain point like in a second. And after they were also thinking, okay, how to migrate from my current workflows to the AI agent. That was the second question that was raising right away, like, okay, how do I do this, this, and this? And the truth, yeah, sometimes I didn't get the answer because I didn't know. I didn't know how it was working.
Yes.
Because the reality that I was showcasing something that would change like maybe in a minute right after, because you or Baptiste or someone else would just change it. So I was not that much really confident in the beginning,
Yeah.
but now it's getting really better.
I think it's maybe the biggest interesting thing we did is to go really fast on the market and show the product to the customers. I mean, we have gathered so many feedback. We've been able to fix so many things, learn about how we should, position the product. It's something really valuable we did because we went early on in front of the customers. People were super receptive. The product was good enough. I mean, to show it to the customers. And even though it wasn't perfect, well, it was working and delivering value. And so it helped us a lot to improve it throughout the time we did the beta. Even though it might, not be working during our demo because it happened at some point. It was good, in fact, because it helped us to learn and improve, and right now it's getting close to perfect.
One thing we felt during the progress of doing this new AI agent is design was playing a key role, and we thought, well, we need someone dedicated for the job, because before we were working with different agencies and sometimes doing design in-house, but here we wanted to have like a new person to help us on the product and to take this role of head of design, product design. It's where Luca joined the company, and the first thing we gave to Luca is, this is the new product and we need a brand for this.
We are not talking about the visuals or the creative direction at all at this point. Me and Antoine worked on it for a month maybe, on the copy side, on the ideation phase. Crisp is white, so they wanted to have like a separate brand from the Crisp. And the biggest difference that you can like visually that you can do is going dark. Dark feels a bit premium, a bit techy, you know, like tech-wise, high-tech, smart things, universe, things like that. So we wanted to do that. So that makes the most sense, right?
But by the way, we didn't have any name. This new product is named Hugo, hugo.ai. Now you have Crisp.chat, which is the product you used before, which is human first. And you also have Hugo.ai, which is AI first. It's an AI first product integrated with Crisp. So from Crisp, you can configure Hugo, but Hugo in the end, it has its own voice. It has its own settings. So we wanted to have two different brands, because one thing we noticed with our previous AI named Magic Reply is this AI had some limitations. It was not that smart in some ways. I'm sure you have friends telling, oh, I had a message with ChatGPT, I had a message with Gemini. They talk about that like if it was a real person. It's like a personification of the AI. And I wanted to have such a name, like a person. It's where we had this Hugo name, because Hugo in the end is universal, it's easy to remember, it's 4 letters, it's a .ai name as well, which is cool. I'm proud of that. The only thing is we had to buy the domain name. I had this ID when I was in my bed, I think. And the next day I contacted the guy owning the domain, and I received a response the next day. Okay, I'm okay to sell the domain. And yeah, this way, this is now this new AI agent product. His name is named Hugo. And Luca did a brand for Hugo, and you're gonna notice that the brand is like Crisp, but the opposite of Crisp. It's a blended version of Crisp.
I wanted to have connection with the actual Crisp brand. The logo that we have comes from the Crisp, because the empty space in the logo of the Hugo is actually like 4 Crisp logos rotated for 90 degrees, and then a leaf in the background, which is just like what's left once you cut that off in the middle, which kind of indicates the AI today, because like every brand have like a leaf or a star, right? Like Claude, ChatGPT, every brand has something like repetitive, which is like pretty easy to animate. It symbolizes something smart is going on when something is like continuous in terms of the logo.
In the end, the best customer support on earth is when you don't need customer support. But in some ways, we know that customers, they had a lot of questions. They have a ton of questions. They want to buy things, they want to use products, and they have a ton of questions. And we think that this Hugo AI agent can be really helpful for your customers. It's super smart. It has access to your company knowledge. It can perform actions. and you have really the control and to say to Hugo, you can answer this, but you shouldn't answer this. In such case, I want to have my team to do that. It's really the best of both worlds, where you have really a smart AI to help your customers and a good team to help your customers. And Crisp and Hugo can work all together to resolve your customer support problems.